Hi friends, MD Vegan! On my gentle juice fasting day, once a week, I only drink juices or other light beverages. More or less, I can also be a cacao, for example, nut milk. Sure, plant milks are allowed because main thing is you take off the fiber from juices and plant milks, no fiber, and then you don't need to digest it. The nutrients go directly into the bloodstream, and fasting is not at all about reducing nutrients, more about reducing calories. Yeah, the fiber goes away so the body can just take in the nutrients, feel delightful, and cleanse inside, cleanse the mind, have inside self-reflection, and when that job is done, being more creative. That's a natural order I experienced. So, and gentle juice fasting is the easiest way to fast because it is always gentle. That means I always want to feel great. That's important. So if it's too harsh, yeah, on myself or on others, yeah. For example, I have a schedule, I have some social duties or so. So I plan ahead to make sure my schedule is in harmony. And the fasting doesn't disrupt anything. I can easily plan ahead a little bit and find a day once a week. It should be. Yeah, that's regular. That's important for every system. For every successful endeavor, I need a systematic approach, and it begins with a schedule and time. So do it every week. Then success comes. If it's a good project. So not conflicting with others is a schedule mostly, and possibly, and to myself is if it's too tough, if it's too much of a cleansing, if it's too harsh, I slow down. I can even have a smoothie, a light soup or a light salad, yeah, just to slow the cleansing down, because the more you cleanse, the more you take the fiber out, the more the cleansing begins and the more heavy can be the reactions. Also mentally, ideas come up, maybe fears you have forgotten or stored behind somewhere. So that's why we can always reduce the speed. We begin with 1 day a week and only juices or other beverages that are light without fiber. And then by time, we notice that it gets more and more intense over weeks and months and years. I'm now in my 8th year or so from this method. Before I fasted other methods, and it's also great, but not as efficient, not as easy as this one. Gentle juice fasting is really in the flow. It comes from tree yoga. Tree yoga is the art and science of the yoga flow. That means you are in the flow, you always feel connected to the flow of energy inside, you feel it. From the very first moment, that is the idea of tree yoga. And flow is based on the idea of non-violence, not harming yourself or others. So that's the basic concept of flow, and that's why it is so easy and available. You always make sure you feel great and you don't harm anybody else. That's easy. So with the juices here, it's very special because meanwhile I began to make a new recipe every week of juices. And juices are so great, as I said before, my cleansing and my self-reflection also makes my sensitivity more awake. I feel more. I feel the ingredients, how they affect my body and my mind. I feel directly. No energy is wasted on digestion. Usually on my regular day, digestion is not a waste of energy. This energy is used, very importantly, for keeping my body healthy. The immune system is based in the intestines. So all the energy that goes into digestion can also be used for immune system, or part of it. So it's very important. On the fasting day, it's not needed. Energy goes directly into the system without any loss of energy for this digestion process. So that makes me very aware, more aware, and I feel the ingredients as they affect me, and I can also play with how the ingredients work together. For example, this time I make a beet juice. That's a big project of mine, meanwhile, because red beet especially, has such an amazing possibility to make other flavors with it. I mean, literally, I don't think there is any plant so far that is had such a variety of possible flavors that seem completely disconnected to the red beet. Red beet tastes like earth, and that is not always pleasant. You just taste the beet juice. Yeah, it scratches in the throat sometimes because of the oxalates in there. So it's not very pleasant to drink a pure beet juice, to me at least. But if you combine it with sweet and sour fruit, like oranges for example, all of a sudden the beet tastes amazing. No more scratching in the throat. Another way to combine beet is with pear. The perfect combination. A pear and a beet. I have 2 pears here, large pears, in season now, in the winter time. That also makes the beet juice very nice. And my first discovery was beet pear. Wow, all of a sudden the beet tastes nice. Beet orange is also very nice, no problem. And with apple it begins to be a little bit different because apple is not sweet enough, yeah, to be simply combined with a pear. I need something else. For example, celery. Celery is very nice together with apple, but by itself it's a little bit almost salty and smoky. So it's a very strong flavor, and it can only be used as a seasoning. And apple balances celery very nicely. So I have here a combination of 3 juices. Yeah. So the beet pear juice, the beet orange juice, and the apple celery juice with the pear. And that will be underlined a little bit, high scored a little bit by lemon and ginger. This is in many recipes a nice refinement, or let's say intensifier. Here I have even some of the peel, not too much, a little bit of the peel of the lemon to make it a little bit more powerful, the juice. At least we know that the peel of citrus fruit, like oranges and lemon, the most nutritional power, healing power, is in the peel, the yellow and the red of the peel. The oils, the etheric oils, they're very strong, but you don't need a lot of them. It can be ruining the whole juice. If you take too much of the peel in a recipe, it can be very catastrophic. So a small amount can go a long way. So let's try. I will juice it, and then I will tell you and show you what it tastes like. Just a moment, come back. Yeah, my juice is done, and that will, if delicious, I mean I will drink it anyway, but if it's delicious, it will make my meal, my 1 meal in a day, or 2 meals. I will have another juice and maybe a third one to have a third meal, you know. But one juice here can be a large portion, like a liter, or I have a little bit more, 1.5, maybe 1.2 liters. From this quantity, 2 apples, 2 pears, 2 oranges, a medium beet, lemon and ginger, and 2 stalks celery. So that's 1.2 or 0.3 liter or so. And that I can drink that slowly, sip by sip, because otherwise if I drink it, gulp it down, it spreads into the blood immediately, and my sugar spikes have sugar spikes in the blood that can be not so nice, can be, you know, feel dizzy, or even worse things with the insulin in your blood that can be blocked and pushed up and down. So drinking it slowly in juice fasting, that is what I'm going to say, is important. Yeah, more important even than a regular day when you eat all the fiber, so digestion slows it down anyway. But without the fiber, the energy goes into the system right away, and then you should moderate that without the fiber. Fiber is so good because it moderates the intake of energy or nutrients into the system. The fiber slows it down and moderates it in the right, perfect way. If you use whole fruit, plant-based, whole fruit means that the fiber can moderate the energy, the intake of nutrients in a perfect way. Fiber does an amazing job. So our regular diet should always be based on a lot of fiber. Whole food, that means. I don't eat not whole food, like refined oils, only very little, yeah, white rice, yeah, or these kind of things. I'm very careful with that, or white bread or so. That's really an exception if I do that at all, because it's so important to have fiber. Yeah, and the whole food, that makes it possible to have enough fiber, and fiber is so important. So, but on a fasting day, upside down everything, yeah, differently, and then I have to drink it slowly. So that's the first thing that has to be, that I take care for of. That's very important to me. I'm a fast drinker and eater, I can, but I have to moderate myself to have the best results. So now I taste it. It looks nice, the color is beautiful, the texture also, it's runny, a little bit creamy. That's very nice. But let's see the flavor. That's the most important thing. Wow. Yeah, I wanted to do that. I wanted to do this really, this combination of, I said 3 juices, yeah, pear beet, orange beet, and then apple celery beet or something. Apple celery is the thing. But what I wanted to do in the first place, I didn't tell you before, was to make this special celery beet juice. Celery here is maybe the main ingredient for the creation of a new flavor. The celery stalks here are like a seasoning, and I discovered the celery as a seasoning only recently, and now I know, oh, it's so exciting. It can have such a nice effect on many recipes, on many flavors, if I use it in the right amount. So not too much, is very strong. But here I did celery beet juice with oranges, and I did celery beet juice with, I guess it was pear. I'm not sure, pear was it, I guess. And so, but now I combine pear, orange, and apple with the celery. I didn't do that before because, you know, pear and apple and orange together are a very rich fruit juice and a very nice sweet and sour flavor. So the pear and the apple are very nice. They're very sweet. The apple is a little bit sour, and the orange is also sweet and sour a little bit. The pear is only sweet and a little bit bitter. So a lot of flavors here. The bitterness of the pear, the slight bitterness, and the very sweet, and the sweet sour of the orange, and the sweet sour of the apple. That is very complex fruit sweetness, very complex fruit juice, and that is wonderful with pear. It opens up the pear flavor, the earth flavor, and makes it so delicious. And then on top of that, it's a very complex combination today with the celery. That's what I want to do, and I'm really amazed. It's a wonderful flavor. Usually, I get a nice beet flavor with mango beet. That was one of the first really flavor explosions I experienced with the beet juices when I added mango to beet. You gotta try that. It's a really amazing flavor. I call it candy kid flavor because it reminds me of the sweets I loved when I was a kid. Candy kid, but in a healthy way, you know. Candy in my youth, I was in a time when nobody talked about sugar and dental health, and so I ruined my teeth at that time with the sugar I liked. Didn't know that, but now we have these juices, and even one more exciting flavors than these flavors from my youth were the candies. You know, candy kid flavors, and that was mango and beet. And I say that because mango is a very complex exotic fruit. The flavors from, it's a peppery flavor almost with this wonderful mango peel and the sweet yellow mango flesh. It's really amazing, very unique, and you have a similar complexity, I would say, when you combine apples, oranges, and beets and pears. And you know, these are fruit that are very available. Mangoes are very expensive, but apples, oranges, and pears are very available. So I wanted to try that, and it's an amazing result with the beet. So I'm very happy about this juice. I talked about it a lot now. Now the last thing I want to show you what the juice looks like. And it runs into the glass, so you have a little bit an impression, more a little bit lively expression of what the juice is like. Here, isn't that beautiful? Yeah. And one more thing at the end of the video now. I want to come back to the fasting, to the idea of gentle juice fasting and fasting in general. So I said about the first thing was that I do it without harming myself or others. So planning ahead is important to that for the schedule. And the other aspect from planning ahead is how to get my nutrients, or how to get my fruit and vegetables in spices or so for the juices of a day. Once I go on my juice fasting day, I want to make sure that the day before that I have all my necessary fruit and veggies and seasonings and machines, a juicer or so, ready. So I need to plan ahead a little bit, because I drink a lot of juices on a day. I need 3 to 4 liters of liquid, can be 3 to 4 liters of juice, can be. Yeah. Then you need a lot of juice of apples and oranges and lemons and ginger and maybe cucumbers, beets, pears, all these things you need. You can buy that. And apple, pear and orange is very inexpensive, relatively. Yeah. When you go to more fancy juices like beet juice, mango juices gets more, or pineapple juices gets more expensive, but that you need to plan ahead, yeah, how much produce you need, so to get your juices for that day. That's the first thing you have to plan ahead, or I would plan ahead and make sure. Yeah. Or green juice is also very nice with kale or cucumbers or celery. You know, there's so many great juices that are green. Another very important topic, the color of a juice. But the other aspect, planning ahead before you fast and planning ahead after the fast, also very important, because tomorrow I will begin to eat again. I will break the fast, and then the system turns on the feet, goes standing on the feet again. I will have digestion begins to work. I will use a lot of energy again for digestion. The bulk, 60% of the food, of the energy in the food that I eat, goes into the digestion, so the most part of it. And this alone, this huge need of calories for digestion itself, causes also more hunger. I will want to eat more than I really need. That's a big problem for me personally. If I begin to eat again, I want to overeat all the time. On the first day, also on the second day after fasting. So I have to be careful. I have to wait until I eat. When I eat, I begin with light food, like an apple, for example, or a light salad. And I save the more heavy parts, the more protein and fat intense parts, like nuts or seeds or also avocados. I save that for a little later. Or if I want to make a bean or a pea or so, I save that for later in the day. Yeah. So easy to begin with fruits. It's very light, you know, on a fasting day, on a breaking of the fast day, and the day after. So 2 days, I have to be very aware. So it's very fast, goes very fast. I know that I want to be aware of my breaking the fast day and begin to eat. The first meal is perfect. I eat my apple. I'm happy. I say, yes, I did it. I have an apple and I stop now. But an hour later, I just march to the refrigerator, get something out, and oh, I didn't pay attention. I'm overeating already. And I don't feel it immediately. Really, that's a crazy thing. I begin to eat, and before I'm ready, I understand, oh, I overate. I just overate. I didn't even notice. I have to be really fully being aware, fully aware. Maybe what I do now recently, or for some time now, is really planning my meals on the first day of not fasting. I'm breaking the fast. I plan my meals. I say, first I eat an apple, then I wait for an hour or so. And that's just an example. And then I make a salad, a green salad with light foods, maybe an avocado in there, a light avocado, half or so. And later I make maybe a soup with peas or so. So I make sure I have 3 meals and maybe not too many snacks in between, because a snack is always also a nice way to overeat. And I only notice later, I eat for a handful of nuts on a regular day. I quickly eat a handful of nuts. No problem, because nuts don't make you fat. They burn the fat they produce more even than they take in. So nuts are magic if they are raw. So on a normal day, no problem to have a snack with a handful of nuts. But after a fasting day, the breaking day, I eat a handful of nuts and I notice, oh, it's so heavy. The high fat and little protein brings me down. I get tired. I overate. So that's the thing I want to make sure that you understand. Take away when you want to fast. Thing is planning ahead with having enough fruit and veggies and so to prepare for the fasting day. You should be at home maybe. It's the best thing for me, being at home at that fasting day, to focus on myself and the fasting, the cleansing, you know. And after the fasting, I make sure that I really don't ruin the success of the fasting day by overeating. So that is also to be planned ahead, breaking the fast. And that's most of it. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video and subscribe. MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day, and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest and Twitter. And there is a Facebook group called Tree Yoga Moon Fasting. Yeah, Tree Yoga Moon Fasting, a friend of mine, we did that years ago. You can join there too. And I post my recipes, my juice recipes there once a week, and I have a fasting calendar for the best fasting days. There is more to that, the story, which fast days are actually the best, but that's only comes later. I mean, you don't need to do that. If you really just want to begin with fasting and you're curious about it, just pick any day of the week. It just doesn't really matter. You want to be fasting, begin with a day a week, and then see, and maybe you're interested in this juice fasting calendar where the moon fasting is, the Tree Yoga moon fasting is, of course, a little bit more refined, but that's not so important, really. But that's all there, yeah. And if you like, join. You are free, welcome, very welcome. Yeah, I just let you in pretty without any complications, and then you can watch or even post and comment as you like. Again, thanks for watching. Enjoy your fasting day if you like, or just feel inspired. See you soon.